Football is a world of passion. A place where entire nations rise together, where young athletes chase a dream so bright they'd run until their hearts explode. But sometimes, tragically, they do. Across the history of football, some lives ended not in retirement, not in celebration, not in age, but suddenly, violently, and heartbreakingly soon. Today, we honor 20 footballers whose final moments became some of the darkest chapters in the sport's history. Every story is true, documented, and retold with respect. This is the 20 worst footballer deaths ever won. Mark Vivian, the fall heard around the world. Died. 2003. Age. 28. Cause. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. The year was 2003. The Confederations Cup semifinal, Cameroon vs. Colombia, a match filled with pride and pressure. In the 72nd minute, Mark Vivian, the engine of Cameroon's midfield, began to slow. No one noticed at first. Players assumed fatigue. But fatigue doesn't make a man collapse like a puppet suddenly cut off its strings. Fell face first. No hands to break the fall. No motion. Teammates waved desperately. Medics ran. 45 minutes of CPR, shocks, oxygen, nothing worked. Doctors later discovered a hidden killer, an enlarged, thickened heart. A condition that gives no warning. The entire world watched a man die on live television, and football was never the same again. 2. Miklos Feher, the smile before death, died. 2004. Age. 24. Cause cardiac arrhythmia. Feher didn't look like he was dying. He smiled as he received a yellow card. A moment of lighthearted banter with the referee. Then the smile faded. His face tightened. His body arched backward, and he collapsed. His teammates were the first to panic, waving frantically, screaming for medics. Feher's body shook violently as his heart failed. 90 minutes of desperate attempts followed. But in the early hours of January 26, 2004, Benfica announced the unthinkable. Miklos Feher was gone. He was 24, and he died wearing a smile. 3. Pier Mario Morosini, the player who tried to get up, died. 2012. Age. 25. Cause. Arrhythmogenic cardiomyopathy. Livorno's match against Pescara was routine until the 31st minute. Morosini slowed, grabbed his knees, then crumpled forward. He tried once to rise. Failed, tried again, and collapsed completely. A police vehicle blocked the stadium tunnel, slowing medical access. A cruel twist of fate. By the time paramedics reached him, his heart had already stopped. Doctors fought to bring him back. They couldn't. Morosini died from a hereditary heart condition he never knew he carried. 4. Antonio Porta, the collapse that continued in the hospital. Died. 2007. Age. 22. Cause. Repeated cardiac arrests. It started with a simple stumble. Sevilla's left back Antonio Porta jogged toward his own goal, then suddenly dropped to the grass. Teammates rushed in as he lost consciousness. Medics revived him. Briefly. He walked off the pitch with support, but what the crowd didn't see was that Porta collapsed again in the dressing room. Then again in the ambulance. Then again at the hospital, multiple cardiac arrests, one after the other. For 3 days, doctors tried to stabilize him. His organs slowly shut down. On August 28, Antonio Porta died, leaving behind his unborn son, born 2 months later. 5. Cheek Tot, a routine training that turned fatal. Died 2017, age 30, caused sudden cardiac arrest. In China, at a simple training session, Cheek Tot, a Premier League favorite, suddenly collapsed. There was no challenge, no sprint. He simply fell. Teammates were confused at first, then terrified. At the hospital, doctors tried everything, but his heart never restarted. At 70 years old, Tot was gone, a reminder that death in football doesn't always wait for match day. 6. Samuel Okoroji, a heart too big, died. 1989, age 25, cause. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, Nigeria vs. Angola. A crucial World Cup qualifier. In the 77th minute, Samuel Okoroji collapsed instantly. No warning, no contact. Autopsy results were shocking. His heart was abnormally large. His arteries were dangerously narrowed. He died before medics could even begin resuscitation. 7. Phil O'Donnell, the captain who never walked off, Died. 2007. Age, 35. Cause heart failure. As Motherwell's captain prepared to be substituted, he suddenly collapsed near the halfway line. Players called medics frantically. Moments later, O'Donnell was rushed to the hospital, but he never regained consciousness. His death devastated the Scottish football world. 8. John Thomson, the goalkeeper who never woke up. Died, 1931. Age, 22. Cause, fatal skull fracture. The Old Firm Derby, Celtic versus Rangers. A Rangers attacker charged toward goal. John Thomson sprinted out to claim the ball. The attacker's knee collided with Thomson's skull. The sound was so loud some fans thought a firecracker had gone off. Thomson never regained consciousness. He died that night in hospital. Over 30,000 people attended his funeral, many in tears. 9. Bruno Bobin, killed by the ball. Died. 2018. Age, 25. Cause, cardiac arrest after chest impact. During a Croatian 3rd Division match, a close-range shot struck Bruno Bobin directly in the chest. He staggered, jogged a few steps, and collapsed face first. Medical teams worked on him for 40 minutes. He never responded. 10. Luyandan Shangaze, when lightning hit the pitch. Died. 2018. Age, 21. Cause, lightning strike during a friendly match. In South Africa, a sudden bolt of lightning hit the pitch during a friendly game. 3 players fell instantly. But Luyandan Shangaze suffered the worst injuries, severe burns, and organ failure. He was placed in a medically induced coma. 3 months later he passed away. 11. Ortwin Linger, the Suriname Airways disaster. Died. 1989. Age 21. Cause, airplane crash injuries. Ortwin Linger was part of a special squad, the Colorful 11, a group of Dutch Surinamese players heading to an invitational tournament. On June 7, 1989, their plane crashed during landing. 176 people died instantly. Linger survived the crash but suffered catastrophic burns and injuries. He fought for 3 days in hospital before passing away. It remains one of the deadliest aviation disasters connected to football. 12. Danny Ark, the phone call no one expected. Died. 2009. Age, 26. Cause cardiac arrest in hotel room. He was supposed to be celebrating. Espanyol's captain, Danny Yark, had just finished a training session during the club's preseason in Florence, Italy. He phoned his pregnant girlfriend afterward. A normal call. Nothing unusual. No signs of anything wrong. Suddenly, mid-conversation, he stopped replying. His girlfriend heard silence, then the dull thud of a phone hitting the ground. Terrified, she immediately called the team staff. They raced to Yark's hotel room, forced the door open, and found him collapsed beside the bed, still holding the phone. Doctors tried to revive him with defibrillators, adrenaline injections, CPR, but it was too late. Yark's heart had simply stopped. Years later, Andres Iniesta revealed he dedicated his 2010 World Cup winning goal to Yarka, a moment millions saw, but few knew the heartbreak behind it. 13. Emiliano Sala, the flight that never arrived. Died. 2019. Age, 28. Cause, plane crash over English Channel. It should have been the start of a new chapter. Cardiff City had just signed Argentine striker Emiliano Sala for a record fee. He returned to France briefly to say goodbye to teammates, then boarded a small Piper Malibu aircraft to Wales. It was a decision that changed everything. Somewhere over the English Channel, in freezing conditions, the pilot lost control. The plane disappeared from radar. For days the world watched, waiting for news. When the wreckage was found, Sala was confirmed dead tragically. The aircraft had carbon monoxide in the cabin, disabling the pilot and passenger long before the crash. His story exposed fatal flaws in private flight regulation, sparking lawsuits and investigations that continue years later. 14. Andres Escobar, a death caused by a goal. Died 1994. Age 27. Cause, murder, shooting. Some deaths are accidents, some are fate. This one was neither. At the 1994 World Cup, Colombian defender Andres Escobar accidentally scored an own goal against the USA, a mistake that eliminated Colombia. When he returned home, he believed his nation would forgive him. Instead, tragedy awaited. Outside a Medellin nightclub, Escobar was confronted by two men. Witnesses say they mocked the own goal. Escobar tried to calm the situation, but one man pulled out a gun. He fired 6 shots. Police later confirmed the murderer was connected to gambling syndicates who lost money on Colombia's early exit. Escobar's death remains one of football's darkest, most senseless murders, a reminder that a game should never cost a man his life. 15. Davide Astori, the captain found in silence. Died. 2018. Age 31. Cause: cardiac arrest in sleep. Fiorentina's captain, respected across Italy, was expected at team breakfast before a Serie A match. When Astori didn't show up, staff members knocked on his hotel room door. No response. They entered with a master key. Astori was lying peacefully in bed. No signs of struggle. No warnings. No movement. Doctors revealed he had suffered a sudden cardiac arrest during sleep. His death shocked Italian football so deeply that every match in Serie A that weekend was postponed. Fiorentina retired his jersey. His teammates described him as the perfect captain. 16. Peter Biaxanzuala, a celebration that turned fatal. Died. 2014. Age 23. Cause: spinal injury after goal celebration. After scoring a goal in the Indian Mizoram Premier League, Peter Biaxanzuala attempted a celebratory backflip, something many players do safely. But this time, he landed horribly wrong. His neck buckled under the weight of his body. He collapsed immediately. Rushed to the hospital, he underwent surgery, but the damage to his spinal cord was irreversible. He died 5 days later. His death became one of the most tragic reminders that even celebrations carry risks. 17. Hernan Gaviria, Giovanni Cordoba, killed by the sky. Died. 2002. Ages: 32 and 24. Cause: lightning strike during training. Atletico Nacional were training under cloudy skies when a thunderstorm rolled in. Players jogged lightly across the field. Then, without warning, a bolt of lightning struck the pitch. Hernan Gaviria collapsed instantly. Giovanni Cordoba was thrown to the ground unconscious. Gaviria died immediately. Cordoba survived for 3 days in intensive care before passing away. Afterward, clubs across South America changed training protocols during storms. 2 teammates, 1 moment. A tragedy written in the sky. 18. Serginho Miranda, collapsed in front of his home fans. Died. 2004. Age 30. Cause: heart failure, enlarged heart. Brazilian defender Paulo Serginho de Oliveira was playing for São Caetano in a league match against São Paulo when, in the 59th minute, he suddenly fell to the ground. Medics rushed over. Fans watched in frozen silence. Despite all efforts, he was pronounced dead shortly after arrival at the hospital. What shocked Brazil even more was the autopsy. Serginho's heart weighed nearly twice the normal size, a severe and undiagnosed condition. The tragedy led to legal action against club doctors and sweeping changes in Brazil's medical requirements for athletes. 19. Miklos Molnar, death in training. Lost to time. Died. 2005. Age: 24. Cause: cardiac arrest during training. Playing in Hungary's domestic league, Miklos Molnar collapsed during a routine training session. Teammates said he simply dropped to the ground mid-run. Medics attempted CPR, but he was declared dead shortly after. His story may not be as well known, but it reflects the same silent killer haunting football. Hidden heart abnormalities that go undetected until it is too late. 20. Christian Gomez, the fall no one expected. Died. 2015. Age: 27. Cause: heart failure during match. Playing in Argentina's second division, Christian Gomez suddenly knelt down during play, then collapsed. He was taken to the hospital by ambulance, but doctors could not restart his heart. His death added to Argentina's growing list of cardiac-related football tragedies, sparking debates on whether lower division clubs needed more advanced medical equipment. 20 stories, 20 lives. 20 reminders that football, for all its joy, passion, and glory, is still played by human beings vulnerable to fate. Some died chasing a ball. Some died chasing a dream. Some died in the sky. Others in their sleep, some because nature struck, and some because of human cruelty. But every one of them left behind a legacy, not just in goals or trophies. but in the safety rules, medical standards, and cultural changes that protect players today. Their final moments were tragic, but they were not in vain.